Simrata Sukha Hore Sagala Duke Jai Rake Rakanahara Pupariya Kuki Peri Paye Kashavariya O Apadeyal Manho Navasariya Sajana Ke Sangha Baba Jalatariya Sanketananda Kadushtakin Mahe Badariya Tissa Saiba Ki Teka Nalika Mane Mai Jisa Simrata Sukha Hore Sagala Duke Jai Jisa Simrata Sukha Hore Sagala Duke Jai Rake Rakanahara Pupariya Kuki Peri Paye Kashavariya Apadeyal Manho Navasariya Sajana Ke Sangha Baba Jalatariya Sanketananda Kadushtakin Mahe Badariya Tissa Saiba Ki Teka Nalika Mane Mai Jisa Simrata Sukha Hore Sagala Duke Jai Jisa Simrata Sukha Hore Sagala Duke Jai Rake Rakanahara Pupariya Kuki Peri Paye Kashavariya O Apadeyal Manho Navasariya Sajana Ke Sangha Baba Jalatariya Sanketananda Kadushtakin Mahe Badariya Tissa Saiba Ki Teka Nalika Mane Mai Jisa Simrata Sukha Hore Sagala Duke Jai Jisa Simrata Sukha Hore Sagala Duke Jai Rake Rakanahara Pupariya Kuki Peri Paye Kashavariya O Apadeyal Manho Navasariya Sajana Ke Sangha Baba Jalatariya Sanketananda Kadushtakin Mahe Badariya Tissa Saiba Ki Teka Nalika Mane Mai Jisa Simrata Sukha Hore Sagala Duke Jai Jisa Simrata Sukha Hore Sagala Duke Jai Rake Rakanahara Pupariya Kuki Peri Paye Kashavariya Apadeyal Manho Navasariya Sajana Ke Sangha Baba Jalatariya Sanketananda Kadushtakin Mahe Badariya Tissa Saiba Ki Teka Nalika Mane Mai Jisa Simrata Sukha Hore Sagala Duke Jai Jisa Simrata Sukha Hore Sagala Duke Jai Rake Rakanahara Pupariya Kuki Peri Paye Kashavariya O Apadeyal Manho Navasariya Sajana Ke Sangha Baba Jalatariya Sanketananda Kadushtakin Mahe Badariya Tissa Saiba Ki Teka Nalika Mane Mai Jisa Simrata Sukha Hore Sagala Duke Jai Jisa Simrata Sukha Hore Sagala Duke Jai Rake Rakanahara Pupariya
Welcome in, everyone. I want to start us in 4 minutes.
What a joy it is to stand in Christ, forgiven, righteousness and eternal life when salvation is given. All my sins paid for and I could never repay you, but now my greatest delight is to trust you and obey you. More than a genre of music, worship is a heart change. I gladly bow my knee to the God who never changes. Every day I'm changing, becoming more like Christ, adoring what is good, adorned with the fruits of new life. And my hope is not a fantasy, it's built upon a reality that you will keep your promises according to your sovereignty. I will see your face and be safe under your reign. When my faith turns to sight and only perfect love remains. Your people are my people, no matter where they come from. The church exists according to the works of God's Son. So in the new creation, when we're gathered in His name, it will be obvious that He's the one who's worthy of all fame, because the worthiness of Jesus is the reason we belong. So worthy is the Lamb will forever be our song.
Wisdom, power, and praise, glory, honor, and strength, worthy to the Lamb who was slain. Be wisdom, power, and praise forever. And to the King on the throne, be glory, honor, and strength.
There is a space between us, it's a right divide. Distance between the depths of your worthiness and mine. Mine is derivative, all my worth comes from thine. I am merely a man, all thy works divine. I abide only as a branch attached to the vine that grows the beautiful fruit that gets crushed into wine. I am the least deserving, made worthy to touch His feet. A serpent that did nothing to earn a seat at the wedding feast. I'm a created being, you created everything. You make footstools of fools and galaxies your rings. You are Christ the consummate, my hope and every confidence. Worthy to receive praise from every mouth and every continent. Infinitely worthy of loyalty and my allegiance. Worthy enough to die to self to offer my obedience. Worthy is the Lamb, worthy is the Son of Man. Worthy is the one who takes the scrolls from His holy hand, where angels and elders and living creatures all fall and worship the highest King, the most worthy of all.
Wisdom, power, and praise, glory, honor, and strength, worthy to the Lamb who was slain. Be wisdom, power, and praise forever. And to the King on the throne, be glory, honor, and strength. Wisdom, power, and praise, glory, honor, and strength.
Good morning. Okay, in St. Louis, Missouri, I believe that it is 11:11 on 01/11/01 or 10. And so we have a real palindrome of a number. We have a real powerhouse of a date today. And I see my 10/11 birthday twin in the house, and I have to say good morning, Mommy Urena, because we have some of these digits. We have the 1011, and some people for the year. I'm talking about the year 2026, and my name is Tess. And good morning. Some of you know that the year adds up to 1. Some people are saying it's a 10-year. Some people are calling it a 1 year. And for us this morning, the idea is to just drop into play, to drop into an alternate timeline, which is still our highest timeline. And I mentioned timelines because part of the numerology of the day, as I understand it, the 011110, is that there is an infinity and there's a unity and there's a parallel. It's a parallel track. And so we're just going to have fun. I'm so honored and glad and happy and glad-hearted to be here with you all. And I want you to tell me if you can't hear me at any time, or if my internet gets funky, just let me know. So I want to start us off. I'm going to start us off actually with a prayer. I'm going to drop us into prayer, and then I'm going to read our foundations of practice, and then I want to hear from you all. So however you're arriving, wherever you're arriving in space-time. Invitation is to let your eyelids close if it's comfortable and safe. Invitation is to feel any part of your physical form. Even if you don't have any ability to physical touch, you can do it with your eye, with your mind's eye. And I said I was going to pray. And I do need to pray. And I know I'm talking to you right now, God, always, Great Spirit. Thank you for bringing each of us into this sacred space, safe and sound and whole, and able to be together and dance and come around the well in this way every Sunday. What a gift of our lives to be in community and in communion with your consciousness, the wisdom here, the freedom seeking here, the truth telling here, the embodiment here, the rage here, the grief here, the demands here, the peace here, the love here, the play here, the pleasure here. We thank you for all of it and the potentiality of all of our lives and the joy that we get up to together. We know all over the world that people need peace and power, and they need the peace and power to be brought to the people and back to the earth and the ways of the earth and the ways of the people who have been keeping the earth for millennia. And we pray now to rise into that embodiment, but also that mercy and grace and ease would go everywhere, especially to the children, the world over this morning. It is not right. All is not right in our world, Lord, and you know. You know we love you. And be with the ones who are separated, the people kept in cages the world over, behind bars, children separated from their parents. Just go to those places and go to those places in us that walk in this ancient way, in this humble way, trying to reconcile the magnitude of that grief with the largesse, the gorgeousness, this abundance of joy and pleasure and beauty, this tapestry of delight, alongside these really unthinkable realities all at once, and that we're big enough to hold it. And we thank you for that. Your ways are far above our ways. And you know the prayer in my heart, God, but give me the grace to hear and listen when you guide me this morning. And come through, Holy Spirit. We love you. We know you by many names, but we experience you as love now. Amen. And may it be so. And so it is. Okay. So welcome, y'all. I'm playing with different heights, different setups here for my desk and my prayer space. And I want to share the screen because I want to share our foundations of practice. So if somebody can come up off mute just to make sure that you're able to hear me when I do that, but I think you should be able to.
Can't hear you, Tess, if you're talking right now.
Oh,
Tess,
I
if
think
you're
you
talking right now.
Let's see. Thank you for saying that, Lizzie. Let's see. Can you see my screen and hear my voice? Maybe.
I can hear your voice, and now I can see some of what you're trying to bring up now. Yeah,
Let's see.
there it is.
Okay. Hooray! Fantastic. This is what we're going to be getting into today, but I want to read our foundations of practice. We honor the divine as spoken by many names: God, Creator, Most Holy, High Power, Mother Earth, Supreme Being, Universe, Cosmic Mother, Spirit Guides, Holy Spirit, Guiding Intelligence. We focus on collective liberation through spirit while emphasizing personal experiences and individual transformations. We believe spiritual intimacy and oneness and connectedness with the divine is an accessible relationship for all. We recognize joy and pleasure as birthright and invite them into our lives in this spiritual container as such. We are rooted by the profound welcome of persistent, unqualified yes and our unconditional belonging. We dare to stand in the spaces of hurt and hope to fully witness the possibility of creation. We embrace the truth wherever we find it. We welcome the wildness and wholeness of our spirits as evidence of our essence. We honor the sacred space of our container with grace, empathy, and protection. We believe in the power of the collective as manifestation of the wholeness, the collective as manifestation of the wholeness of being that connects and sustains all life. Okay, so I want to know how you all are arriving. So please unmute and yeah, I know life is lifing. So welcome Delisha, welcome Sweetie, welcome Dominique, welcome Sally, welcome Adande, welcome Aaron, welcome Lizzie, welcome Tracy, welcome Latasha, welcome Samantha. If any of you want to drop your the names that we anointed ourselves with last month in our nativity story, if you want to rename yourself, feel free, but just come off mute. What's up? How are you? I love you.
Hey, Tess. It's so good to be with you today. You're radiant in your colors and your leadership. I'm good. I'm glad to be here. I have a snoring doggy next to me, which is bringing me so much happiness. And yeah, I got to do a little Qigong practice. I'm settling. I feel like I'm settling, and I'm glad to be here with you all and grateful for your leadership, Tess.
Is that Missy?
Sure is, yeah.
I know you love that dog. I love you, and I love you loving Missy, and good. How else? How are people arriving?
Hello, beautiful people. I am Tracy, also known as T Spirit. I'm very, very grateful to be with you all right now, today, in this hour, in this minute, in this second, in this 111 portal as a master number 11 with my 1011 folks, and Tess grounding us in at 1111. I am feeling very thankful and grateful and feeling very deep, but also very fortified and edified in my spirit. And that is not outside of what is going on in the external world. That is in addition to what's going on in the internal world. And so I'm always like grateful to know and affirm that I'm doing my part. And since I'm doing my part, I feel very aligned with the space that I am in my internal world, and just holding on to my spirit and my soul and my community and not letting the oppressor have that too. And so I'm very just grateful to be being in this space and be led by the dancing spirit of the rain. And I can't see the rest of the rain,
Bo!
just rainbow, okay? The rainbow. And yeah, just grateful to be here with y'all and to be in community with Spirit Rising. And so, yeah, peace.
Peace, Tracy. Happy birthday. You got all this 111 magic too, so happy birthday, friend. Welcome, Wolf. We're just checking in. We're at the well of wisdom. So if anyone else wants to say how they're arriving, feel free. I'll give it another second before I share what we're up to today.
Good morning. I just wanted to say, hey, everybody. Hey, Tess. I'm super excited to see you leading and guiding us this morning. And dope timing to bring us in at 11:11. Like, just chef's kiss.
Thank you, Adande. It's good to hear your voice. I doubt I'm alone in really enjoying your voice, the tenor of your voice.
Good morning, spirit of the rain, dancing spirit of the rainbow. Good morning, family, spirit rising family. I have been distracted. That's why I was off camera, doorbell ringing, uh, phone ringing. So here I am now, just saying, okay, no more interruptions. I want to be fully present. And I'm arriving with gratitude and also with uh, anticipation. I'm excited about your offering today. And I just can't wait to see what's going to unfold. So thank you for holding this space for us this morning. And I'm piggying back on what Lizzie just said about Missy. And I was like, one day last week saying how much I was thinking how much Lizzie loves Missy because she hadn't said anything about her lately. So yeah, all right. Namaste.
Namaste. People are saying how good you look, like Adonde and Salier, and it's true. The lipstick being the way it's not that's, yeah, it's like more purple than the red of the earrings, but they go together so well.
Thank you.
It's a chef's kiss when we have this kiss. Wonderful.
Just want to say
I'll
good
pop in and
morning.
say
Good
hi.
morning.
Oh, Delisha, you go, babe.
Oh, thank you, Erin. Good morning. I'm just so happy to be here and to see and witness and be led by you, Tess. I am having like such a comfortable morning. Like I am still in bed, naked. I'm just enjoying today. So I'm really glad that I can just continue being comfortable and soak in what you have to offer us.
I am really happy you're going to experience some of this from bed, and I would love to hear how that experience is later. That's great, Delisha. Welcome. And good morning, Erin and Sally A. Yeah, good morning. Welcome, both of you. Let me hear one of your sweet voices.
Well, I'll just say quick hi. So good to be with you all. So good to see you, Tess, and be in your energy and spirit. I feel really grateful. Right before getting on, I started getting a pretty severe stomach ache. So I'm just going to be tending my body, maybe on and off camera, but I made the mistake of reading some news and it immediately made my belly feel like it was just being pierced. So anyway, just tending that. And but right in this moment, I do not feel it. So I think it's y'all.
Let it stay away, Erin and Erin Duffy Burke, those bangs. Okay, I'm excited to see you anyway, but I'll be getting up close to your bangs when I'm back. Oh, Sally.
Morning, everybody. I'm feeling joyful today. My daughter had her third baby shower yesterday. Okay. And it's just the village that she's built is incredible. And so yesterday it was her choir family, the church family. And we had such a great time. It was just fun to be with each other again and get to know each other again, what we've missed and all that good stuff. But it was the love that they showed my child was incredible. It was incredible and it felt wonderful too. So yeah. Yeah. So she's due basically before the end of the month. And yeah, things are going along as they should. So I'm feeling very joyful today and tired.
Oh, praise! 3 baby showers. Such a well-held community. That's beautiful. Yeah, like we've continued ongoing blessings to your daughter and the little one who's coming into the world, and all the resources, the right resources, including community, to surround you all. Thanks for updating us. And I know you were back to school, but that seems like something to ask you about, like over a different medium. So I'll do that. Anyone else? How they're arriving before?
Yeah, I can hop in, y'all. I was trying to figure out how to flip this background image this whole time. I'm like, stop worrying about it, but it is what it is. I am arriving, yeah, kind of similar to how I think it was Aaron was saying, feeling a certain way beforehand and then getting on, and I feel like a lot more energy. I was feeling really tired. I spent a long week at a basically a spiritual social justice liberation leadership intensive in Atlanta, and I was working at it at this conference from spiritual leaders from across technically the world, and just feeling really exhausted still, even though it ended on Thursday. And but I knew I wanted to be back in spiritual community today. I wanted to be in person somewhere, but I just didn't have it. And so it does feel really good to be able to have this space, this shared space, um, to just be, and to offer as well as to receive, to just co-generate. So that's where I'm at today. And I'm with Jaquie too, is here.
Oh, morning, Jaquie. Thank you, Wolf. Welcome back. Yeah, that's not nothing, that trip to Atlanta. That's a big thing. That confluence, that collective, the energy that you all hold and create in the world, and then, yeah, the travel. So, yeah, I'm glad all of you are here, each of you, with all of your everything right now. And let's see. Rebecca joined, Eileen joined. Good morning. Good morning.
Spirit Rising family, welcome to the second Sunday. Second Sunday of the year. I'm grateful to be with you. I came to Spirit Rising after a 40-minute meditation. It's so good. It's so good. It's so good. Living in my causal truth that I am always and ever and only creating. Hello. And about to go walk with my husband. Ooh. Look at that for companionship. Somehow I got the time to walk with my husband. And I am reflecting, given our session last Sunday, I'm reflecting on what a difference the quality of my choices makes to the quality of my lived experience. Because on most Sundays, I would have a reason why I couldn't meditate for 40 minutes and why I didn't have time to be with my husband doing something that he enjoys and that I enjoy. But somehow, you all, through the amazing capacity of the universe, when I apply my energy, when I redirect myself, when I am my first priority and my last consideration, the universe does not withhold from me, but synchronizes to my energy. That's how I'm arriving. Hey, y'all.
Hey, Rebecca. First priority, last consideration. In the power of your choices. Gonna take a beautiful walk. I'm imagining it's sunny in Illinois and cold. I don't know if this is true, but enjoy that walk. It's wonderful. And it's also a really excellent segue to what we're going to be discussing. But I still want to, we're still at the well, you know? We're still at the well. If there are any other voices.
Thanks,
Okay.
Tess. Hey, this is Sweet Tea. Thanks, Tess. Thanks for facilitating. I just want to say I took a nice walk this morning before Spirit Rising, and I feel refreshed with the cool breeze and just taking in the air. So it was just really nice to be outside. Um, and the cool breeze was really actually very warm.
Thanks, Sweet Tea. And thanks for describing, the elements up over there, like the air moving. And yeah, we're going to play with sensation today too. So I think that that's a pretty good, yeah, switch over. And I will switch over to this little presentation because it does help. It helps me to have some visuals.
Hey, Tess, we can't hear you again. You're muted.
Yeah, okay. I may lean on you, Tasha, to share some of the audio, and I may just forego my slideshow. I rock out with this Chromebook that I got from the St. Louis Public Library. So today we're gonna get into some ritual theater, and we're gonna act different parts of basically. I'm wondering if I can share this presentation with you, Latasha, and I might just drop a link in. Is that cool to try? Let's see. While I'm doing that,
you can't share your sound too?
well, I don't know if I can share. Oh, you know what? Maybe it is. Let me see one more thing.
So when you share your screen, when you hit share screen and you pick the screen, before you hit share on the right side, there should be a little button that says share sound. You should be able to share a picture and the audio from your computer.
Okay, share system audio, right? Yeah, thank you. I'm going to try it without that on because that was on last time. And then I thought maybe it muted me because it thought I was going to. Can you hear me and see the screen?
Yes.
Bless you all, patient people. All right, so ritual theater. We're play acting. So we're going to be revisiting, for those who were here last week, we were talking about essentially human consciousness and this idea that we're always creating, that in our very thought, in our very existence, we have power, just power being the ability to enact an effect, to cause an effect. And so we always have this as human beings, whether or not we're conscious of our power and whether or not we're spending it well or intentionally. So for me, I feel very, I've been I've been experiencing playing with what it is to actually hold this much love and power and peace and presence and circuit it through my system, have my nervous system sustain it. And nervous systems are often really frayed. They're really frayed in the United States and maybe the world over, but there's a kind of musculature, and it might come from, it's an energetic musculature and it's a spiritual musculature to actually come into my own peace and power and safety, for my nervous system to know that it's safe and well. And then also that I can be absolutely co-creative, right? We heard somebody share that too, to come to create, to co-create and to participate today. And so we were talking about well, what came up was this verse from John chapter 5, the Gospel of John in the Bible, the New Testament, chapter 5, verse 3. And so we're going to be role playing today. And I say all that stuff about enacting our agency and being in our power because what I want to do today and the invitation is for us, and we'll be led with some music. We'll have 2 songs to kind of drop us into this field. And the invitation is to shake and to move your body. If body movement's not accessible to you, the invitation is to drift into a space of no thought as best you can. But that's going to be in a few minutes. But that's what we're up to. We're going to be role playing. The one who makes well, which is in this parable, in this gospel verse we're going to talk about, that's Jesus, right? Then there's the one who wants to be made well. And that's this person who's been sitting by this pool for 38 years, we're told. And then there's the ones who are threatened by the people becoming well. And we meet them a little bit later after the man takes up his mat and he walks, because Jesus is like, go ahead, get up. And the guy gets up. And then some of the folks in power, John's gospel describes them as the Jews, which there's a lot of scholarship about John's gospel really contributing to anti-Semitism and like hate crimes against Jewish people. But the language that we'll read, it'll be the same. But so the Jews in the text are threatened by the people, this man becoming well. And they're like, it's a Sabbath. This is not a day when anything ever happens. And how are you moving? How are you moving so swiftly? And who did this? And the guy's like, I don't know who did it. But then he sees Jesus and he's like, that person did it. So we'll read that. And the reason we want to role play, or the reason that I want to invite all of us to get in touch with all of these parts, is because in internal family systems, right? For example, which is a therapeutic model, I have like the inner child who is at various stages hurt and needing in different ways. I have like the free and kind of like carefree, reckless 20-something moving in me. There are all these, I have my dad's voice in me, I have my mom in me, like all of these different family parts. So this role play that we're going to get up to, the invitation is to think of it more as the different parts in yourself, recognizing, of course, as we do in this space, as we were reminded of by our spiritual foundations, that the roles that I have in myself, the roles that I play, the parts that are in me on the microcosm of my body and mind and soul and heart, they are paralleled often by our dominant culture, which is a dominator culture in my government, in my country, the United States. Like I fund so much basically murder and disappearance and control and extraction with my taxes. It's not all I fund, but too much of it goes to a military budget. And it's hard to even imagine a United States where we don't have a hierarchy and we don't have an entire industry based on prison and all of these aspects that I've picked up in myself. There's a debate that I don't find that interesting about, is it human nature? Is it human nature to want to conquer and destroy? I don't find it that interesting for me anymore because I don't want it to be in my nature. It's not going to be in my human nature insofar as I practice what I'm doing, insofar as I'm consciously co-creating and meditating and dancing and being curious. And so those parts of me, and the song that we're going to listen to by Little Sims and another collaborator, she gets at this, I think, so beautifully. So this is what we're doing with ritual theater. And this is our verse. So that was a lot. I'm going to shake a little.
Doing great, Tess. I'm loving it so far.
Thanks, Lizzie. So we're going to be in John's Gospel. I might pick up my actual Bible, but I don't know where I said it. Oh, it's right here. Yeah. All right. But I'll read what's on the screen. In a spot called the Pool of Bethesda, a building by healing water, there were a bunch of sick folks, blind or paralyzed, waiting for an angel to move the healing water so that it would cure anybody's disease once they stepped in it. Anyone who entered the pool after its stirring became healthy. One man had been there for 38 years. When Jesus saw him lying there, knowing that he'd been in this condition that long, he asked, "Do you want to get well?" The sick man answered, "Sir, I have no one to help me get into the pool. When I try, someone gets there before me." "Get up," Jesus told him. "Pick up your mat and walk." The man was cured at once, made whole. Now, I would love to hear from people before we read the second part. What do you notice about Jesus's question, and what do you think of the man's answers? So Jesus says, "Do you want to be well?" And the guy doesn't say yes or no. Whatever. I won't tell you what I think. I'm going to mute myself and stop sharing the screen. But what do you notice? What do you notice?
Maybe I'll just say it's like a seemingly simple question, like kind of like a seemingly simple, like yes or no, yeah, question that he directs at him.
I want to build off of that and test. Look, you can't see me grinning from ear to ear because I'm not in the state of dress, but I'm so. I sent my mother a text with your ritual theater. I was like, mama, Tess is building on the man at the pool in Bethesda. I don't know if she'll join us, but that was the scripture she brought up. And so, in such creative and beautiful ways. Thank you. What a gift, your spiritual leadership and discernment today. What I find so striking about the question, do you want to be made well? Do you want to be made well? Almost like the question we were playing with last year. Who do you think you are? And depending on how you answer, right? Like there's so much reality that flows from that. Do you want to be made well? Wellness was connected to the man's own desires, right? You want wellness, right? And so I'm finding life in that wellness would flow through the threshold of desire by the man at the well, which is a very different. It's a very different way than what we are often taught to think about is sort of wellness as an objective function. You either have it or you don't. Whatever happens to you either makes you well or it makes you unwell. And rather, in this question, wellness emanates, radiates, flows through and from, is caused by the man's own orientation, own desire, own consciousness. Okay, I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you, rude teacher. Yeah. The threshold of desire. I mean, I'm going to go off script for a minute and ask if anyone, it's a very vulnerable question. And I'm asking because I've had this experience, but does anyone relate to this, like basically the conflict? I want to be well. I want to be in my power. Of course I do. Why wouldn't I want to be healthy and whole and contributing my joy and my power and moving freely? And yet when it comes time to enact certain behaviors that support that freedom and thriving. Yeah, Mama Urena?
I was thinking along those lines of intention And so when Jesus asked the man, "Do you want to get well? Are you coming here for 38 years, sitting here by this pool, feeling sorry for yourself and thinking, oh, the angel shows up, but the angel never stops by me. The angel goes to someone else, and I'm left still in this condition. I have resigned myself to be at this well, at this pool, waiting and waiting for 38 years. Words, it's like when Jesus asked the disciples in the boat that night of the storm, oh, ye of little faith. Did the man really have the faith? Was his intention aligned with his belief that he could be well? And so for me, it's like when I interrogate myself, it's like now in physical therapy, I have to do this therapy every day, twice a day. And there are some days I don't feel like it. But do I want to have this healed hip? Do I want to be more ambulatory? So how am I bringing this about? Are my intentions and my behaviors and my belief aligned? Am I ready for the manifestation of being well and whole?
Yes, intentions, behaviors. Are your intentions, behaviors, and beliefs aligned? Sometimes when you get to just spilling wisdom, Mama Urena, that I can't write quickly enough. Intentions, behaviors, and belief to manifest that wellness. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'll add one more level to this, which is that I have a dear friend who has reminded me that healing is not my purpose. And I think, yeah, Mama Urena, you and I are built similar in some ways. Well, I won't. I put you on the spot. Is that cool?
Yes, don't go too far now. Don't go too far.
Okay, no,
But
I'm gonna speak for myself, which is the only entity. It's the only entity I can speak for. I'm gonna speak for her.
I was thinking about Tony Jones, but go ahead.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just the other layer. Oh, Erin Katie, I would love for you to explore that thought in chat if you're willing. Am I ready for the consequences of wellness? That's very interesting. Which theoretically are great things, right? But for those, I guess, okay, well, here's what I want to add, I guess, is that this I don't want to overanalyze essentially or spend too much time on whether or not I've been the person at the pool for 38 years. But because I think I can I know I can become perfectionistic in my pursuit of wholeness and what I think is my full expression of wellness and sovereignty. And if I keep pushing the bar higher and higher, it's actually like I'm pursuing some kind of false idol, like robot goddess, sort of pop star, Instagram filter, like billionaire version of myself as a spiritual guru, if I'm being very honest. Okay. And like that's not really what I'm after. The actual experience of wellness. And now I'm reminded of Toni Cade Bambara, who some of you know I really love. I'll finish that thought, but I am reminded of, for those of you who have read the novel The Salt Eaters, the healer in that book asks Velma, who is the main character, do you want to be well? Her name is Minnie Ransom, the healer is the character in the novel. Do you want to be well? And she says, a lot of weight when you're well, she says to Velma. A lot of weight when you're well. And maybe this has to do with responsibility, which is being responsive. When I think of responsibility, I think of responsiveness to all of life, right? And the pain that, we felt into during when I prayed us in. the pain of the world and also the power and the pleasure of the world, being responsive to all of it, there is a weightiness to that. And I do think wellness presents a very different way of life. It's a good one, though. So I'm going to pause for a moment and say, Reverend Regina, thank you for, thank you for being here. I appreciate you so much, Reverend Regina, and happy belated birthday. I think you're a December baby, if I'm not mistaken, a Capricorn. So you are either working or living, Reverend Regina says, you're either working on living or dying every day. So okay. Any other thoughts before we get to the second part of this reading?
Yeah, I wanna jump in. I'm really glad we're revisiting the story. Last week was my first time hearing this story, and what's hitting me differently this time is how I do think I do think he wants to be well. You don't show up for 38 years somewhere without this like deep desire to be well. I think the limiting belief is that the wellness exists outside of him, and so he's like, the wellness is in this water. The wellness is over there. Like I have to get over there to get it. And so even when Jesus asked him his question, his first thing is like, I mean, yeah, I want to be well, but I can't get to the water. And so for the response to be like, well, get up and walk over there, it's such a, it's not like Jesus picked him up and put him in the water, right? It's like Jesus like reinforced this idea of like, yeah, like I hear you, here's this limitation, let me help you access the wellness over there. It's like this like mental shift from something outside of you is going to change the conditions of your life, something outside of you is going to heal you, to like, if you want this thing, all you have to do is get it. And that just feels like a different orientation. And I think so many of us have been taught to believe that the answer is outside of us, that we have to go seek it, that like when we lose the 10 pounds or when we get the $1 million and when we whatever, that like then we'll be well, then we'll be we want it, but we're waiting for something outside of us to change. So this like I loved even his response to the question was excuses of like, I mean, yeah, I want to be well, but I can't do this and I need this and I did that. And it's like, no, just get up and go. And I just want to understand in his mind when Jesus said get up, did he get up? Like what was different in him that he was like, yeah, let me try after like my entire life knowing that I can't do this thing. I've been sitting here for 38 years waiting. And now this person says get up. And his reaction isn't to like laugh or to be like, you're mocking me or to be like, you're mean, but to just like, I guess do it, which is, I do think speaks to like the question invited like a mental shift in him that maybe he didn't have access to before somebody asked him that question. And before that he was just waiting for something outside of him to change. Then like I don't know, the idea of like, could I just do this myself? I think it's a real different orientation that probably was the ultimate gift that allowed him to get up and walk.
Thank you, Delisha. You're making me think it's the question. It's like the attention being paid to him. I mean, I also happen to think it's Jesus. So this is a divine, someone who has conjured or not conjured, like developed the tools and practices to circulate a divine consciousness. And I also believe Jesus does rise from the dead as the Son of God. And at the same time, I believe we're all imbued with Christ consciousness and that Jesus the Nazarene is a blueprint for us in our human incarnation. Yeah, if you want this thing, all you have to do is get up. And totally. Erin, please.
Yeah, I'm appreciating this a lot. You know, I love this moment in scripture, and I've been tracking moments like this for a while in scripture. Like this, there's many moments where Jesus says, like, what do you want? You know, like to the blind man, you know, or this, like, do you actually want to be, like, I see him like invoking agency, like over and over and over again. But also, and even with Mary, like I see it where in the Annunciation, where the, you know, the angel is not telling her what's going to happen. He's like proposing a possibility and he waits for her yes, for her consent, you know? And so what I'm really seeing in this story and the way you're presenting it now, yeah, and the way everybody's adding to the conversation, it's like, I see like partnership and reciprocity and relationship. Like it's the God in this one, you know, that consents and that says yes, and that kind of somehow is able to get out of victim into creator. But it's also like being seen and being like evoked and being like named, and that partnership that is always offered by life, you know, because yeah, I do see him kind of the one who's sitting there like it slips a little bit into victim or some excuses, but like grace is still there. Like grace still finds us. Like, yes, we have agency, but we're not alone. Yeah, we have great responsibility. And we're like in this relationality where we are, yeah, like we're constantly doing this together. So yeah, that's what I'm really noticing. Yeah.
I really love that. Appreciate that partnership always offers us life, or partnership is life is always offering us partnership. Yeah. Huh. This is great. Okay. Anyone can come back in, but I'm also gonna
Adon
share.
Reverend Regina have their hands up. I'm just saying that in case you don't see it, Tess.
Oh yeah, I don't see it. So people with their hands up. I'm gonna switch to gallery view, and please, Reverend Regina.
Hello, Tess. Look, I love you so much, don't I? Okay, I'm so glad I tuned in today. But
I love you too. Good morning.
Don't never confuse me. I'm gonna say it, okay? But anyway, the reason why your question is so good is because I do think about that a lot of times. You know, we be asking for things, but are we ready, like Aaron said, for the consequences? Okay? It's like, yeah, I need to be whole. And I love the fact that you all are a great community, really, because when I was in the MS clinic, I had all of you all just rooting for me. So I had to root for myself. So that is a question. That's why I say you either working on living or dying, because they was really counting me out when I was in the MS clinic. But y'all kept on telling me how good my God was, and I knew he was. Okay, so to lay in that bed every night and look on my wall and see affirmations, it was really like uplifting me. People used to come in my room, nurses and everybody, just because they need to hear a good word from us. So we're here for each other. I love y'all. Happy New Year again. And that's all I got to say.
Oh, thank you for adding this idea of not being counted out, because you've really explicated what I was trying to speak to earlier, adding to Aaron's idea of when Jesus, and to what Delisha said, of like when you give someone attention and you're like, hey, do you want to be well? Like he sees the person. It's not that difficult to imagine somebody in 2026 who is by, we don't have healing pools exactly, right? But it's not difficult to imagine somebody who wants to be, somebody who theoretically wants to be well. We don't know necessarily, but like someone who needs our acknowledgement, and to not be counted out. And then the reciprocity, the fact that nurses like came through to your room to receive that reminder and experience that, like we give life to one another all of the time. Adonde, please.
Good morning. I'm so happy that you jumped back here, because I didn't say, I don't think, anything really last week, because I was just sitting with this concept, and how so much of it sounded the same except for these small nuances, and I couldn't determine where I was like landing. But I think this is a different, it's sitting with me differently this week. And again, I'm hearing this conversation between like internal power versus like external activation, and which is required more. And I think I got caught up last week because I'm like, well, sometimes we give ourselves permission because what has been reflected back to us. So the question requires the man to, the question is a reflection of his own internal desires. But he can't give himself that permission to see outside of the box until it's been reflected. So Jesus, it seems to me, in this state, operates like a mirror. And when I think about it that way, I even think about elders in our community and how they drive and safeguard even us because of the wisdom. It's the implementation of knowledge over time and the gift of the lessons learned. So they're not like saying, "Hey, I know something you don't know." They're saying, I'm serving as a reflection because I've already been where you are, and you just haven't seen it in yourself yet. So I'm holding up a mirror to, like, here's some insight into where you can be. And I'm showing you that because I'm already here on this side, and so this concept of the internal versus the external to me works in partnership because it doesn't require activation, which was a question. The power or the permission has to be internal, but sometimes we have to be exposed to ourselves. You ever hear yourself say something because somebody repeated it back to you? And they're like, hey, Tess, you just gave yourself the answer. And all they do is repeat it back to you. You like, damn, that sounded kind of cool. That was pretty smart. I said that. I feel like that's what's happening here. Because again, Jesus doesn't touch them. He doesn't give wisdom. He just says, he asks him in and of himself to hear what he himself is saying. I want it. And that's the reflection. That's the reflection that creates the internal activation. I'm still wrestling, but I'm loving how my mind is playing now.
If this is wrestling, I don't know. I'm quoting you, Adande, now. We give ourselves permission because of what is reflected back. Of course, deeply. I mean, I don't know if this is why you, or what you, for me, it was part of the why of why I think I love working with younger people. Yeah, and why I'm honored and blessed always to be around young ones. Because you can also, what you said, Adande, you just haven't seen it in yourself yet. Again, there is that mirror, there's that reciprocity, that mutuality. And I feel that deeply in my work with younger ones. And maybe you do too. Yeah. And that's why I'm trying to be a wise and well elder also, I mean, not trying to be, becoming one by the grace of God. I want to look at these chats. Ooh, lots of good things in the chat. Okay, we'll start with Rebecca responding to Adande. What if Jesus isn't the only mirror? What if all of what you consider outside of you is really a mirror that provides revelatory reflections? Indeed, where is the hard and fast demarcation between internal and external? Yeah, try to find it. No. Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, well, I'm going to think about that in a second. What did Wolf say? What makes a pool a healing pool is the state of being that one holds upon entering it. Upon pouring the water or feeling the droplets. Yes, we can be our own healing pools. I'm thinking instinctively of a Kundalini Kriya where we cup our hands like this, and it's a palm, it's a hand prayer, and we imagine we'd have a chant. We say Wahe Guru, Wahe Guru, Wahe Guru, Wahe Guru, Wahe Jio. And you can go on like that for 31 minutes. But yes, we are mostly water. And it's no accident, Wolf says, that we can see our reflection in water. All the parallels are real. Oh, I love that you mentioned that. Thank you for that. I'm gonna keep going. Let me make sure there are no hands being raised. I'll say one more thing though, which is what Wolf said reminds me of this card that a friend got me some years ago that said if the ocean can calm itself, so can we. You know, we are both something percent of water. And I had it on my wall for a long time, you know, like if the ocean can do it, so can I, you know. Being here in Taos Pueblo land, where I am right now, and I'm specifically in San Cristobal, New Mexico, I am really honored and humbled by all the tree elders and brothers and sisters and all the stone people here. And I found myself kneeling the other day and bowing. And when I got up, I heard the field and the trees sort of say, like, it's you too, you know, like it's not, we have the same power and potential and beauty and majesty and dignity of nature. We just, with our human consciousness, have to practice at it, at least, or I do. Let's see one more chat, and then I'll go back to my slide deck. But we already, of course, like, you guys are the best, and we already answered a bunch of the other questions. I'm going to revisit this conversation between Adonde and Rebecca that's transpiring, potentially. Okay, here we go. So, yeah, we are going to go back to our story. So, just to remember, and you know, there are different translations, and I'm about to get into the definitions, but I'll be brief about it. Here's the story. So the day that the man took up his bed and walked was the Sabbath. The Jews therefore said unto him that was cured, It is the Sabbath day. It is not lawful for thee to carry thy bed. He answered them, He that made me whole, the same said unto me, Take up thy bed and walk. Then they asked him, What man is that which said unto thee, Take up thy bed and walk? Afterward Jesus found him in the temple, and said unto him, Behold, thou art made whole, sin no more, lest a worse thing come unto thee. Thou art made whole. That's the King James version of what Jesus says. And I did skip a line, and it might be helpful to read it. So yeah, they ask him, Who is the man who said to you, Take up your bed and walk? Now the man who had been healed did not know who it was, for Jesus
Can y'all hear her? Is that just my phone?
Oh, it's you. I was just gonna ask.
Okay, Tess, we can't hear you.
Church service might have cut.
Oh, where'd she go? Oh.
Tessie.
It's 12:11.
I wonder if I have my phone nearby. I could text her. Here it is. I'll text her. Is she still on the? It looks like she's still in the meeting. Mm.
As I walk this wicked ground, keep me away from the devil's palm. I am the.
How dare you? I was shutting down the world and it scared you. Can't hold a girl down, it's this bad. Shame nice on my nose and my hairdo. Not the type that would trip off nostalgia. Too nice, but my silence is louder. Spend enough.
Hey!
I am the
Can't never
Sorry, did you want me to keep playing? I'm sorry.
Why are you sorry? No, thank you. For my internet totally went out. But now I'm back.
So we didn't hear when you were reading before it went out. We didn't hear the excerpt that you were reading in order
Yeah.
to make it all come together.
Thank you, Tracy.
Mhm.
I don't know
Okay, thank
about
you.
I don't know about making it all come together, but we're doing things. So I'm gonna go back to Oh, this is not the screen that I want to share though. Well, John 5. So did you all see, can you see this, the day the man took up his bed? Did you hear that?
Yes, and then you were reading something out the scripture to add to it, I guess.
Just the stuff in between. Basically, the man who had been healed didn't know who it was. Jesus finds him in the temple, and then the man goes away and says who it is who did it. The man went away and told the Jews that it was Jesus who had healed him. And this was why the Jews were persecuting Jesus, because he was doing these things on the Sabbath. But Jesus answered them, "My Father is still working until now, and I am working." And what I wanted to share about that line, Jesus saying, "My Father is working until now, and I am working," is that it seems to echo and remix all of the gorgeous wisdom that you all have been sharing, in the sense that life is always available to partner with us. It's Rebecca saying, the universe withholds nothing. The universe wastes nothing. That's one way of interpreting what Jesus means by "my Father is working until now and I am working." The universe, the cosmos, is life, and it's ongoing, and it's always available for us to breathe and reconnect with. So let's go through these pretty quickly, because Jesus says, I've made you, how's he say it? He says, behold, thou art made whole, sin no more. So to be made whole, this is according to Strong's, which is, it's from the Greek and the Hebrew and the Aramaic, and I use Blue Letter Bible. Someone who is sound in body, to make one whole, restore them to self or to health. And then metaphorically, this is interesting, to be whole is teaching which does not deviate from the truth. And then this idea of the sickness that the man had originally, it's translated differently in the different versions: invalid, impotent, sick. You can see the Greek, the G number refers to how this dictionary, there's a interlinear Bible, and you can go in and see each term, actually, the etymology. To be feeble, to be diseased, and then to be without strength, I think is the definition most relevant to our conversation, because we've been talking about the strength required, the strength and concentration to participate in life, and to choose to go for a walk, to choose to feel the air on our skin, to choose to rest deeply and call in community after we've been traveling, to choose to do our physical therapy, to choose to practice body embodied care, whether we're staying in bed or practicing Qigong or whatever it is. That's the strength that is required of us. Our participation is required. And then this one, sin and sin no more. And so I know a lot of you, I'm sure if not all of you, have heard that the definition of sin is to miss the mark. Yeah, and what I like about that is that there's this idea of not missing, so to not share in the prize. And when I think about sinning as not sharing in the prize, to miss or to wander from the path, but also to be without a share in. This is what we're talking about when we talk about losing our agency as people. If I lose my agency, then I'm not going to be able to participate. And I actually had a whole other kind of exegesis prepared for a different scripture, which maybe will happen on a different day. And I'll say more about this. And it's the parable of the story of the wedding feast. But if we think about Jesus saying, sin no more, what he's really saying then, what it becomes is, you're in touch with your strength. Like, look, you're in touch with your strength now. Like, don't miss out. Participate. Come experience. Come be a part of this so that you don't suffer, this false separation, so that you don't miss the opportunity to be alive and all of the things that holds. So, and then this is the question that I had, but we already talked about this. Have you ever needed someone to remind you that you're capable of something? Sometimes, even though we could have done it alone, it's not till another person is like, you got this, get up, that we can do it. And I'm going to pause briefly in case anyone feels moved to share anything at all in response to that or at all.
Yeah, I want to share. Peace. This has been such a beautiful and enriching conversation. I want to just thank everybody for everything that they offered into this space. And just like the revelation that I have with this whole teaching is that I was the man at the well for so many years of my life, right? And I think you said that he was there for 38 years, I was for 35 years, and then coming home from incarceration and taking another few years before I could embody everything, like that I can make the decision within myself that I am going to be well and I'm going to live in my glory and live in my righteousness and make a consistent and be in a consistent relationship with my wholeness, with my wellness, with my divinity, and still ebb and flow between feeling as if I needed someone else outside of me to give me permission to walk in that, right? So coming up under the oppression, coming from up under the flattening and all of those things, so yes, there were times when I needed someone to, we talked about the reflection, but just to give me permission. I remember when I came home and I was exploring different pathways to the one divine source in my evolution and seeking spirituality outside of Christianity, because for me, Christianity created a lot of restrictions and a lot of oppressive thoughts and a lot of condemnation. So it was someone else that gave me permission to seek something outside of what I knew that form of Christianity to be. And through that pathway, I was able to come in deeper right relationship with myself. So yes, and I also, working with different people of different marginalized communities, whether they are recovering from substance use or incarceration, giving that permission. Some of us don't know that we can be free until someone tells us. Some of us do not know that there is something outside of what we've already know from under the weight of oppression and poverty and all of the things that seem so real and feel so real in this current reality, in this plane of existence that's closer to the material plane. So we feel all of the things that we see through the devastation. I also want to make note that somebody said the consequences of being well. What are the consequences of being well, right? And of embodying this wholeness and fullness is that for me, it is sometimes I want to be that mirror and I want to offer that while also being considerate of the times when I was not able to see that I was the reflection in the water, when I was not able to see that. So being very gentle as you're walking with folks through their transformation to the divine, right? And so I really appreciate this story because this is this is my story. You know what I'm saying? And the realization is that, we were talking about healing is not my purpose. And the point about the sin no more, what I see is I've been doing some different studies around indigenous African theology and just the attachment of original sin. We all come defective in some portion. How do I also break free from that? So to me, how do I also break free from that and continue to break free and decolonize from that? Because in some different African traditions, it's that soul that the relationship between the soul and the body, like it's a pure thing, you know? And so yeah, I really appreciate this. And this reminds me of an old dude with Yemaya that says, you know, the human was suffering and she looked in the mirror and said, change.
Oh,
You want the
shit.
chance,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Change.
Yeah,
And,
yeah,
and,
yeah,
and it reminds me that it's such a parallel of be well. And then also just like continuing to remind ourselves that we, you know, there's so many things externally out in the world that do not want us to be well, that do not want us to walk in our divinity, that do not want these conversations right here of unraveling and reconstructing to even exist, because it keeps us so separated from the power that we can embody, and the energy that and the nucleus of what like transformation really consists of is everybody walking in their divine, you know, light and love and energy and magnetic. You know, when I think about the core of the earth, right? And the different the five portions of the earth and the different five planes of existence, and how we are those, like the same magnetism, right? And so yeah, I think that yes, we you know, for the folks who have made it through the other side, it is our responsibility to remind people and to tell them you can be free, you can be liberated, even with ICE, even with Palestine, even with poverty. Like you can be liberated, while also understanding that the material world feels so real, and it feels so real and it's so visceral. And so okay, I love y'all, and that's what I have to say. Yeah.
Thank you, Tracy. Yeah. Yes, thank you. I always feel when you talk about the core, the earth core, you know, like I feel when wisdom speaks through you, you know, and like when it comes through you and when you bring it to us, like I feel it all the way through my body, and I always have. And yeah, you know, I love you very much, and I do. Reverend Regina and Lizzie, or Lizzie and Reverend Regina. I don't know who put up the hand first. Not that we have to go in order. Whoever feels moved.
Oh, Reverend Regina. Oh, thank you, Lizzie. That my other daughter. Look, I got so many. Okay, but all I was gonna say is this is a good conversation, though. Just to be having, you know, Tracy. I thank you for what you're saying, because Christianity is really bad. It's not for everybody. Okay, but I thank God for you and for my daughter Bree. You know, she got her master's in theology. So that was so good, though, that it wasn't in divinity. I think I only got my master's in divinity because I was in the church. So, you know, it's kind of like validation for them, not for me, because I knew who God had called me to be, and I was trying to walk in that. So I thank God for people really understanding that you are not to be flat. God put you here, and you're unique in your purpose, okay? So that's how I just feel. I mean, I still believe in God, okay? I'm sorry, y'all. Okay.
I believe in God too. I believe in Abba God. I believe in the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. So there's space for all of it. Yeah. Thank you, Reverend Regina. There's space for the way the Christians so-called dominated and extracted and participate in ongoing acts of genocide today, maintaining ICE, maintaining the conditions in the Gaza Strip. And I believe in, but that is not going to keep me. Someone said something to this effect today in the last 90 minutes. That's not going to keep me from accessing all of the peace and power and joy and goodness and the truth of reality, which includes so much beauty. Because they don't get to lay claim on this religion in my heart, in my mind, in my soul. So that's my pledge that I have now made. Lizzie, please.
I was kind of on the same tip that Tracy was on, like just And I think maybe you posed a question, but yeah, I'm just feeling in this moment the truth of like, yeah, sometimes I really do need a reminder. Like, I need reminders all the time. I need reminders all the time from spirit, from life, from myself, from my community, from my family. We live in like such a confusing, yeah, the world can be so confusing. Like, life is fucking hard. The conditions are not ideal. like all different things, but like, yeah, I don't know. And in this moment, I'm feeling like reminded, like really deeply reminded in this space, in this circle, and like in my Qigong practice this morning, like so reminded energetically, like what it is to be a part of the greater field. Anyway, so I'm just like, just yes to that. And maybe that is, I'm also just sitting like, maybe that is the heart for, maybe that is one of the hearts of this teaching story, right? Is that like sometimes we got to be reminded or something.
Yeah, and it's so good that we get to remind each other, one another every week. It really is. Welcome, Momo. Momo's here and in the chat. Z says, not Miss Reverend Regina saying only relating to her God study, the Masters of Divinity, right? It's still a big deal. Yeah. Yeah, and Reverend Regina, you're one of my very favorite living theologians. So, okay. So I am aware of the time, and I want us to move. I want us to shake with this practice our ritual theater. And I'm going to share the audio and we'll see if it works I chose a video of this little Sims track with the lyrics for those who still want some mental. So as I've said, the invitation here, and I'll go quickly back to, our presentation, and then I'll share my system audio. As we've said, we've been now, we've left the pool, we're up, we're walking, we're in the temple, and you can come into any part of this story, but what we're going to do is don't get dizzy with my slides. All right, we're going to it's like Lectio Divino, for those who know that practice. It's basically, we haven't read the scripture 3 times, but we're imagining ourselves in the scripture, but in our bodies with this song playing. And so the invitation is to feel into the story. For those who are just arriving, it's John 5:9. Yeah, the pool at Bethesda, and we're going to get in touch with the man, the one who wants to be made well. We're going to get in touch with Jesus. We're going to get in touch with the people who, the quote unquote Jews, according to John's description, who are threatened by this. And we're going to feel the parts and we're going to make contact. So you can turn your camera off if that makes you more comfortable. If you're not in a space physically or practically where you can move, really the invitation again is to drop your eyes or tune in with the lyrics. You know how you meditate. You know how you get into these altered states of consciousness best. The invitation is to drop into no thought and to really feel it in your body. And please let the music support you. And I am going to play the song twice. It's a short song. And I really believe its medicine is relevant here. So
really quickly, Tess, repeating just so for clarity. So like listening to the song, dropping in and making contact in our body with each of these parts, each of these like archetypes in the story.
Yeah, and I'll drop it in the chat too, but exactly that. And I see Tracy transitioning. We bless your transition. So the different characters is the man by the pool. And then there's, let me stop sharing. There's the man by the pool. There's Jesus. There's the Jews. And like I had said a little, like way earlier, if you know internal family systems, and that's a helpful framework, you can feel it as a part of you in that sense. Maybe it's your inner child, like maybe it's a family member, maybe it's a particular grief, but you're feeling in energetically to a part of you that exists, right? That might overlay onto the pool, the man by the pool, or Jesus, or the Jews. Or if that's too much, just be in your body and see what happens and rock out to this song. Like that's really, yeah, what it is. So I'm going to maybe I'm going to shake off of screen, but I'll keep my camera on and let me share my sound. Any other like questions about what we're about to get up to for the next 6 minutes, and then we'll come back. Okay. Let us see. Mm-hmm.
As I walk this wicked ground, keep me away from the devil's palm. I am the
How dare you? I was shutting down the world and it scared you. Can't hold a girl down, it's this bad. Shave nice on my nose and my hairdo. Not the type that would trip off nostalgia. Too nice, but my silence is louder. Spend enough, but my finances louder. I'm not the type to abuse all my power. Realness in the village I come from. All my dolls go to sleep with a muzzle. You can move shapes around all you want, but no, I'm the missing piece to the puzzle.
As I walk this wicked ground, keep me away from the devil's palm. I am the
Can't never forget when the shit stayed flooded. Niggas didn't believe in my hustle. Could've drowned, but I stayed with a mic. Why you niggas all bald, don't bite? They obsessed with my genius plan, and that's being as free as I can. They want you to stop, then they leave you to rot. But that's just not my frequency, man.
As I walk this wicked ground, keep me away from the devil's palm. As I walk this wicked ground, keep me away from the devil's palm. I am the light. I am the light.
Number one is play your position. Don't trust all the hands that you shake. If I put the wrong code in the system, won't be no permanent change. Number two, don't take it personal. This place is infested with snakes. Don't get caught in your own trap. Every bad breed has a good trait. Number three, take care of yourself. Be vigilant, man, who you help. You pray you can make it to heaven, and they're trying to drag you to hell. Number four, don't react to a clone. Don't be the one throwing stones. Never eat with the hyenas, cause they will look at you as bones. Number five, keep the business away from the family. Sibling rivalries vicious. It's meant to be you and them blood in the blood, protecting the family business. 6, don't quit. Keep building it brick by brick. Takes $1 million to send you to prison, $1 million to get you a house and a stick.
As I walk this wicked ground, keep me away from the devil's palm. As I walk this wicked ground, keep me away from the devil's palm. I am the light. I am the light. I am the light. I am the light. As I walk this wicked ground, keep me away from the devil's palm. I am the light.
How dare you? I was shutting down the world and it scared you. Can't hold a girl down, it's this bad. Shave nice on my nose and my hairdo. Not the type that would trip off nostalgia. Too nice, but my silence is louder. Spend enough, but my finances louder. I'm not the type to abuse all my power. Realness in the village I come from. All my dolls go to sleep with a muzzle. You can do shapes around all you
wicked ground, keep me away from the devil's palm. As I walk this wicked ground, keep me away from the devil's palm. I am the light.
Yes, hey.
Hey, Tess.
Oh,
All right, Tess. You stretched me there, girl. Yes. Come on.
okay, well, yes, like, yeah, what have people experience? Tell us about the stretch, Mommy Urena. Maybe it was cardiological.
Yeah, it was a little cardiological because I was trying to move, Let me get on. I'm on video. Okay. So,
But we can't see your face.
Oh, where am I? Oh, I was still.
Not that you need to, but we love it. So
I was still standing. Let me sit down. Okay. I don't know where I am. I can't even see myself. Okay. Let's go back. Here we go. Can I see myself? There I am. Okay. So, the rhythm and tempo of the music and the lyrics coming rapidly like that kind of threw me. That little rap kind of rendition, but there was so much said there as I walked in this evil ground, keeping away from the devil's palm. I am light, and right now in this, what is seemingly darkness in this present day, there is so much light, and I am excited about the light that is emerging. And when he said, don't take it personal, don't take it personal. It's not personal, and I can be free to have my own agency, my own expanded consciousness, to know that like you said, the universe wastes nothing, that all things are working together for the good. So I'm going to go back and revisit Little Sims so I can really delve into the messages there. But thank you for introducing me to Little Sims. Oh.
Thank you for sharing. The lyrics. Well, I'm curious, any other people, as we're settling back in to our collective space, what did you experience during that?
I want to jump in. I mean, check this out. I'm on the road now. So I was like gathering my stuff and walking through the house and embodying the three archetypes, and realize that I'm Jesus. I'm going to say that on this call, and I hope y'all understand and realize what it is that I'm saying. But in this point, in this time of my life, and I have went through enough suffering through initiatory processes to become this person, but I am the person that is responsible and appointed and anointed and ordained to tell people, be well. And I am, you know what I'm saying, the portal and the conduit for the healing. Only the conduit, but only they can heal themselves if they take that, if they take from and pull from within and see the reflection. The reason why people are so energized by me is only because they see the parts of themselves that, that I'm reflecting. And so I'm about to get ready to go to me. I'm walking in like I'm Jesus. Okay. Right. So be well, my people. It's how I was feeling walking through the house, and that's how I feel right now. And Tess, I just love you. And today was so good, and I'm just so grateful for everybody on this call. And that's how I'm feeling. And I didn't feel, I didn't feel guilt or like or like who or arrogance, because it's not that type of feeling or that type of emotion. I didn't feel any guilt or arrogance. I feel like confidence in the knowing that we all are, and we all possess the Christ-like consciousness, the consciousness of Aladore, of Buddha, of Krishna, of whoever, whenever, however, you know what I'm saying? And so that's how I feel. And I thank you for that embodied practice and those lyrics, you know what I'm saying? Because we are the light, you know? And so, yeah, that's how I feel. And thank y'all.
Jesus walks. She does. She does. And more than, yeah. There's this song, Christ has nobody now but yours. And it's a very solemn song. It's, Aaron maybe knows it. It's very different than the Little Sim songs we just heard. But I love that too, because even in my great grief, then I'm invited to come into the compassion and the mercy and the love to hold myself in that grief. So I love this reflection. Yes, others. Yeah. Is it a Teresa of Avila quote? Yes. Thanks, Aaron, Katie.
I can share. I appreciate this whole process a lot, Tess, and I'll just say that I really feel all these parts in me. And I appreciate you. I mean, I have been doing IFS with my therapist this last year, and I just feel it. Like, there's totally the part of me that's been waiting for 38 years. Like, why am I not, why am I not well? Why can't I figure this out? Why, or whatever, And there's totally the part of me that's like, get up, walk. Like, get up, walk. And there's the part of me that's afraid of all those consequences, right? There's a part of me there's a part of me that really doesn't want me to get well, or like, that's the language I'm using. But anyway, there's the part. So I'm grateful for the psycho-spiritual insight, Tess, of like all of this, and just like, yeah, those all exist here, and the agency that comes when I'm more aware and conscious of those parts of me, and like working with those parts of me, engaging those.
Yes, to the agency. Yeah, I relate to all of the parts too. Delisha, please.
That was such a good song. Thank you for that. And yeah, this practice, this imitation, I also relate to like all of the parts, and I could feel all those parts in me. And I found myself coming into deeper compassion and recognition of the parts in myself and in other people. The part that was like really present with me was the how did you phrase them? Oh, I don't know how you phrase them. Not the Jews, but like you said, like the people who don't want you to be well, whatever. The way that they came to me was like, I have been the person because what's interesting is how their first thing was, there you go, threaten, that's it. The first thing is like, but the rules say it's a Sabbath. We're not supposed to do this on the Sabbath. And I've been that person where you're like, you're following all the rules to get the thing. You're doing the things you're supposed to do. And then you see somebody else who's just not doing none of the rules and is getting the thing. And you're like, what is going on? Like, that feels like a threat to your worldview. But like, instead, I have had that experience so many times. So I'm just like, well, you didn't do the thing. You didn't get the degree. You didn't do the job. You didn't do, like, how come you get the man? How come you get the money? How come you didn't follow the rules? And instead, I can see the part of me now that's able to say, like, teach me how, But when you're so rooted into these limited worldviews and this like structure, this rigid structure, it feels really threatening to like experience other people who are just like outside of it and are still getting the rewards that you felt like were only supposed to be earned through this sacrifice, only through like this like limitation of yourself. And it also helps me to recognize when people bring me that energy, because a lot of times people bring me that energy. You ain't following none of these rules and you got X, Y, and Z. How come? And yeah, so I just could really feel that expansion of my understanding of that part of myself and that experience from people, to where I think at first I was seeing it as like the victim and the Victor and the villain, but then afterwards I was like, oh, these people are not villains. They're just also stuck in this like particular worldview where they feel like all these rules and this rigid and this particular way of being is the only way to do things. And going outside of that is a threat to them because they truly believe that this is what you're supposed to do to like get to salvation, to be well, not knowing that there's so many other ways, and that wellness is just like a guaranteed, it's like a given. You don't have to earn it or work for it or like follow rules to get it. It's like it's your birthright.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. I'm clapping and excited because there's a whole other presentation that I have that where I say the kingdom of God is not a meritocracy. And I love that delineation, Delisha, of victor, villain, and victim. Yeah. Yeah. Because it's really compassionate what you're saying about the villain then, that the villain is actually, now I do think some people are just straight villains at this point, you know? I know they have a soul, but it seems to be mostly worm eaten. I mean, I kind of believe that, but I do think by and large, like a lot of the maintenance and the conditioning and the generational recapitulation and re-education, anti-education, again, at least in the US, like, is because the people who invented the game made up the rules, but then there's also a lot of people who feel really secure in those rules, you know, because at least then you know kind of what's up and at least you have a goal. I could go on, but I saw Goddess of Love had her hand raised. That's you, Mama Urena. I know you know your own name. Sorry.
And once again, I missed the whole objective because I was so busy listening to the lyrics of the song and being taken in by that and having to go off screen. But yeah, in those roles, being Jesus for me is the light that I share and shine and hope that I give with two people in our spiritual walk together toward liberation. And being able to get up and walk was a very liberatory moment for the man who'd been sitting by the well for 38 years. And I also could identify with the man sitting at the well, having all these desires to walk and yet not having the faith and the belief to just get up and manifest his desires, his deepest desires, and trusting that he had the agency and the power to do so. And then there's the people who were threatened by his healing. And I see that many times in this system where people want to keep you constricted and confined and flattened to the roles that they have assigned you. And when you start playing a different role, they're threatened because you are defying the images that they have of you and the images that they're comfortable with and have power over you in getting you to do this, do that, react, think poverty, think lack, think being unworthy, undeserving. And so in reflection to what Lizzie and Delisha and Tracy offered, I could feel or embody or express all of those roles, those three roles, the victim, the villain, and the people who are threatened by my wholeness. So, yes, I've been stretched, as I always am when I come here, and expanded in consciousness. So this is so rich, Tess. Thank you, sweetheart.
Thank you. Thank you for that's the group field. You're making me think. One thing that you shared kind of makes me think about how when we change our part, the whole changes. Of course it does. That's not the motivation to change, Sometimes it's a happy consequence, even if it doesn't feel that happy to have somebody be threatened by the way we're carrying ourselves now. In the 12-step, one of the 12-step communities, there is this idea that changed beliefs lead to change actions, and that ends up having a ripple effect. And I'm reminded also of one thing that I wanted to share this morning that came to me yesterday, vis-a-vis this idea of power and co-creation and participation in our consciousness at all times. Is participation is the key to harmony. That's a slogan in a 12-step program. And participation, or if it's not a slogan, it's a tradition. Participation is the key to harmony. And part of why I love that song too is that there's a lyric. Now, of course, I wish I had the lyrics in front of me, which I could surface pretty quickly. There's a line that's about, you can kind of keep looking, but the puzzle piece that you need is me. I'll find it. And yes, others, please. And I'm going to look at the chat in a moment too. So I'll mute for just a second in case there's people who want to come off mute, or we can look at the chat together. Eileen, thank you for being here, love. Yeah, back to your body. And it was mesmerizing for you to embody both the man at the well and Jesus looking down at him and asking about reaching for his wholeness. Oh, yeah. Eileen, if struggling with seeing some of their experience mirrored in your journey, yeah. I don't know if the transition was out of their body, but we're holding you in prayer. Thank you for sharing and letting us hold you and them. And empower. Yeah, there are aspects of ourselves that are threatened by our wellness and wholeness, which explains much of the internal resistance and inertia. Yeah, that we experience. Working through this is a big part of our readiness, not worthiness. Yes, 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 yes. I don't know about you, but I spent so many years trying to understand, what are these aspects of myself that are threatened by my wholeness? Why would I be threatened by my own wholeness? And I actually, this is a whole other lecture, you all. I'm building out a curriculum. I've been drawn to this idea lately, or I've just felt it, of like, stop asking why. The why is irrelevant, I mean, for me, it's irrelevant. Like I've asked why for a long enough time. So working through it and becoming ready and just experiencing it. Yes. Other people in that movement practice, or any other thoughts?
Hey, everybody. Tess, I wrote that, and I want to carry the nuance that Delisha was talking about and reiterate it here, that those aspects of me that are afraid of or just resistant to my wholeness and wellness might very much be like in the framing that you offered, the ones who are like, let's follow the rules. You're not supposed to be doing things on the Sabbath, right? That their intention, the intention of those aspects of myself doesn't have to be evil, right? Doesn't have to be villainous. Those can be aspects of myself that are trying to keep me safe, that don't have an easy frame of reference for what my wellness looks like or my wholeness, right? And so their interpretations, their sense of what security is, right? Security is what is what they know. Security is what they've experienced. Security is the set of skills they've been able to develop in order to maintain survival. And this other way of being, the consequences of wellness, was an early provocation. Might be desired, but far less familiar, and therefore far less safe, right? And so this sort of stepping into the mystery of myself and the greater dimensionality of myself can feel very much like flailing and falling when I'm trying my best to keep myself together, right? And so I offer up that those aspects that might feel counter to, in my instance, and I can't speak for others, but have often been tied to my survival identities. And there is a shift between the operating assumptions of my survival consciousness and identity and my sovereign identity. There's some different operating assumptions, and it takes a while to get to a place of entrainment where the operating assumptions of my sovereign consciousness and identity help to work with the vibrations of my survival identity and help me to release the grip. So that's that readiness process, right? That's that readiness process.
Thank you for expanding. Teacher. Yeah, public mystic Rebecca Bennett in the house. Thank you. Erin, please.
I feel like we're pretty up on time. Ooh, it's 101. Woo!
Hey, yes.
Yeah, I was really moving. I found myself moving or feeling with, I have my sweet dog on my lap, so I wasn't dancing around, but like with pleasure. I found myself really in just like the pleasure in the body of going into the water, you know, and like the simple pleasure of taking one step and then the next step. You know, and I was thinking of Delisha tuning in from her bed and Lizzie and her Qigong and Rebecca on your walk and like these ways that just the simple joys and pleasures are so, I mean, for me, that is the entrainment, I guess. It's the like listening to my body, like, oh, this just feels so good, and this is what I need. And it's just good because it feels good. Yeah.
Ah, yeah. The simple pleasure of walking into the water. Reverend Regina, it's so good to see you. Hi.
Hi, it's good to see all of y'all. I had to get off that phone. That phone is driving me crazy, okay? So I had to come to my computer so I could see y'all faces as well. But I wanted to say your song was great too. And I love what Tracy said before she got off, okay? She is the Jesus, okay? And I love that idea, okay? Embodying who we are. That's how we came to like people, but I love you all. And so I say that just to say that sometimes we are put in these boxes so much that we start thinking that way. We don't even know we're doing it to people. I love the fact that my daughter is queer, okay? Because it made me think out of the box too, didn't it? Okay? You know, just little things that we, hold as a society to be true. No, it's not, okay? It's only true if you make it true. So I love the fact of Tracy being the Jesus and we all seeing each other as people, okay? So thank y'all. I love y'all. Okay.
Oh, thank you. It's only true if you make it true. That's like the too long didn't read of all of this. It's only true if you make it true. Yes.
Can I also say, like, how wild is a worldview that, like, someone who you've known to be unable to walk and to be unwell for their whole life, and then to see them walking and then to be like, you're not supposed to be well today, to like not be rooted into like awe and magic and
Yeah.
beauty and just like, oh, inspired. I'm feeling grief. Like it's like that has to be such a small and sad world that you like are like, no, today's not the right day to walk. It's like what? Like it's just such a wild reaction.
Yeah. I muted myself because I was like audibly agreeing with you. It is. It sucks. It's devastating. It's ridiculous. It's absurd. Yeah. Um. To be like your power, your ability to walk, like not today because you didn't. Yeah, because it breaks the rule or something. But the rules are, man-made, and Jesus talks about the Sabbath at different points in the gospel. But one of the things he says is that the Sabbath was made for man. Man was not made for the Sabbath. Meaning, if it's a ritual, if it's a practice that helps you return to yourself and remember with the earth and be away from the busyness and the status quo and the technology addiction, if that practice of the Sabbath helps you, great. But you like this, we're not made for that. We are here to have life and have it abundantly. So yeah, Delisha, it's big to me. People saying, "Hey, this isn't the right day to, become well." Like, go back to your illness and your suffering. Like, you're breaking the rule and being well. It would be funny if it weren't playing out so on such a massive scale. And it's okay because here we practice reminding each other that we are here to walk in our power, whoever is threatened by it. And I really appreciate. I also really appreciate what Rebecca said about part of how I interpreted that is giving myself grace when I find myself enacting patterns that are more about my survival and early conditioning than they are about the pursuit of, my sovereignty. And that the more that I am in alignment, the more the two are going to vibrate together. So I know that we are at time, and I'm looking at these lyrics because I wanted to find the line that I wanted, but it must be higher than I thought. But she says, "I'm not the type to abuse all my power." Here it is. "You can move shapes all around all you want, but no, I'm the missing piece to the puzzle." Again, maybe in the way that T Spirit said that she was Jesus. Maybe here Little Sims is suggesting that each of us is the missing piece to the puzzle, right? And that's, I believe, what we believe in this community. And this foundation say as much, each of us is the missing piece to the puzzle. Together, we're the puzzle with our human kin, our more than human kin. That's it. And the other thing she says that I want to bring us back to a little for 111 is I had mentioned at the beginning, 111, numerology, this is infinity. These are parallel tracks. This is the one and the one. So it's unity, but it's also the alternate timeline of the higher self. It's this, and it's a palindrome, today's date. So the 111 is a slipstream. And part of the yogic teaching in the lineage that I study and practice is Kundalini teaching, is that the sound is the original life force. Sound holds the universe together, and physics kind of more or less corroborates this now. But what Little Sim says, which I think is interesting, related to that idea, is if I put the wrong code in the system, won't be no permanent change. So when we think about the codes we put into the system, we're thinking about our consciousness, right? I'm thinking about the choices I'm making, the patterns that I'm engaging in, everything we've been talking about. But in Kundalini, that would also very much be the sound. And one thing that I want to leave you with, because it's a teaching that has changed my life, is that if you change your sound vibration, you do change your reality, changes around you. And it's a way for me to practice. It's a little hack, I guess, for me to practice in real time with people around me. what is my tonal frequency right now? And I can glean a lot of information about my state of mind and the state of arousal or conditioning of my nervous system by the sound. And you can also put your intention, your prayer into a mantra or a statement of truth that you want to manifest. And so it's just, that's something too. And yeah, thank you for being with me for 9 minutes over the hour. There is a closing song. Do others have other? Could we ohm together? Yeah, or maybe not ohm because I don't ohm, but ONG. It said that OM is like it's the dormant sound, but the ONG is the activating current. Let me feel into it, Lizzie, because I want to see if other people have any other thoughts. Come off mute before. Thank you, darling. Yeah.
On 11 is approaching, so maybe we could do that at 1:11.
Okay. Thank you all for being here. I'm going to put into, because it's actually, I'm going to type into the chat, Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. This is, it's Gurmukhi, and it loosely translates to, I salute and bow to the power within me that has led me from the darkness to the light, everything inside of me that has kept me from the darkness to the light. And it's also tuning into a lineage of freedom keepers or teachers. And we can chant that if folks want. And then I invite you to come off mute and, send well wishes. And then if we can play the beautiful chorus song, or I might be able to play it too. So invitation to let your eyelids close, bring your palms together, rub your palms together, feel that sound. And we'll chant 3 times. You can just copy the sound current. Unmute or off mute. We can have a gorgeous cacophony. Om Thank you. Please unmute yourselves and spread love.
Thank you, Lizzie. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Be
you,
blessed.
Tess.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Tess, this was beautiful. Thank you.
Brilliant,
Thank
Tess.
you,
Love you.
friends.
Love you all.
Love you. And hi, thanks for being here. I'm going to put on this song.
I wanted to make one quick announcement before you
Yeah.
Thank you for your spiritual leadership today. I want to remind our community that we are actively engaged in the crisis counseling program for our region. And so, and which is specifically for people who've been impacted by the tornado. So if you or someone you know has been impacted by the tornado and you need or they need emotional support and care, some support in developing coping and wellness practices, or resource referral information, we're here to help do that. And one of the best ways, you all know our email and our website. We also have a phone number, and I'll put that in the chat. It's 314-563-2073. So people can call and we can respond. We can reach back out and respond. We're going to be engaged in this for the majority of the year, everybody. So we started at the very end of last year and we're ramping up. So I want to put that out there just as a resource to share with you and or loved ones. And then I'll turn it back over to you. Outstanding job, great teacher. Tess, great teacher. Outstanding.
Thank you, Rebecca. And Wolf, well, yeah, your announcement, but I have a question about the number. Can I put that phone number in the comments section of the YouTube page on this video? Is it public enough to? Okay, cool. Yes, Wolf, please.
Yeah, I just dropped this announcement in the Spirit Rising Signal group, but I've also sent a couple emails, one last month, one I think yesterday. On Friday, January 23rd, so not this upcoming, but the following Friday, we're having our All in Power kind of party gathering. So all of BHC, all of Spirit Rising, the core team, all the different various legs of Empower Institute, we wanted to have an opportunity for all of our communities of practice to kind of gather as a gift of relationship for everyone. So we'll be having just a little party get together at Deaconess Foundation from 5:30 to 7:30. Gonna have some good times, good activities. It's yeah, so I just wanted to make sure to say that in person. You are welcome to bring guests. I just please RSVP using the link that I shared in Signal and via email. There'll be another email that goes out tomorrow as another nudge to people. So then that way you can indicate your dietary needs, as well as if you are bringing any guests and any dietary or nutritional needs that they may have as well. But that's it. Want to make sure that everybody knew.
Party, beautiful. Oh, I'll be glad to party with you probably in the spring. Hopefully, maybe. Thank you, Wolf. Thank you, everyone, for you being here. And yeah, feel free to hop off. But for those who like to rock out with some outro music, I'm going to put on this song, Proud of Me, by Beautiful Chorus. Thank you. Love, 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 love. Have a great week, you all.